The poor brothers who borrowed money to invent Pizza Hut. While we enjoy every bite of pizza from the international brand Pizza Hut, we should also know that Pizza Hut, aside from having one of the tastiest pizzas in the world, also has a rich history, all thanks to the brothers Dan and Frank who started it. In today's video, we will look at how two broke brothers invented Pizza Hut with just $600. So, watch this video till the end to find out. Subscribe to our channel for more videos like this. Many top brands we know today started on a great note with huge capital, but the same can't be said for Pizza Hut. In fact, the founders were so broke that they borrowed capital to start their businesses. Pizza Hut began as an escape route from poverty for the Carney brothers, and today it is a well-known brand competing on the big stages with Domino's pizzas. Dan and Frank were two of the 12 children of Mr. Carney, who happens to be a grocer in Wichita, Kansas town. Born in 1938 and 1931 respectively, Dan and Frank were industrious right from a tender age, and that came in handy as they started their personal lives after they lost their father at a young age. Mr. Carney, who happens to be a businessman and one of the few grocery store owners in Wichita, was a disciplinarian who didn't tolerate misconduct. Hence, his children were brought up to be decent and upright. Unfortunately, he died leaving behind 12 children and his wife, and things became difficult for Carney's family. Dan and Frank were only 16 and 10 years of age respectively when they lost their dad, so they were too little to think straight. But the words of advice from their late father kept them determined. Since Mr. Carney had groomed his sons well in the grocery business, the brothers decided to study business in school, a decision that would later liberate them from poverty. Before Mr. Carney's death, he made his sons promise him that they would finish their education and that instead of working for others, they should rather work for themselves and employ others. Even though the brothers didn't quite understand what their father meant, they made the promise and made sure that despite the odds, they completed their education, which placed them in a strategic position for business exploits. During Dan's master's program, the brothers, who've been studying various business models, decided to give a business a shot. However, with the financial constraints, they had to seek loans or angel investors to pitch their business ideas to. They had no choice but to turn to friends and family, but all they could raise was $600 from their mother. Later in the video, we will show you how Dan and Frank started Pizza Hut with just $600. So, keep watching. With just $600, the brothers knew they stood no chance in the competitive market, so they rented an affordable shop and bought only old equipment to commence their pizza business. While at it, the brothers, who knew nothing about pizza, asked their friends to teach them how to make pizza. After perfecting it, they opened their first store. Dan and Frank, who had previously studied the business models of KFC and other top food brands, implemented the souvenir aspect first. They gave each of their customers free pizza to lure them. The idea of giving out free pizza worked, and the customers ended up inviting their friends and family to patronize Pizza Hut. And boom! Pizza Hut, which started with just $600 and no new equipment, started making sales that Frank had to drop out of school to face the business squarely. After attaining success with the business, and because of the promise he made to his father, Frank decided to enroll in another school while still attending the family business, alongside his brother. The success of Pizza Hut was indeed jaw-dropping, and immediately after the franchising strategy, they experienced rapid growth. The brothers, who knew their humble beginnings, offered low fees for the license and low royalties, making business owners flock around them. Within 10 years into the business, more than 300 Pizza Hut restaurants were opened. Despite the brothers not knowing anything about pizzas, they made Pizza Hut a success. But the success of Pizza Hut was cut short after it became a target for competitors, as many competitors started to franchise the pizza business. The two brothers decided to go public with their business, and this also led to an increase in sales for Pizza Hut. By 1977, a consensus was reached by the brothers to sell the company to PepsiCo for around $300 million. This is not the whole story. It will even get crazier. Keep watching. After completing the sales of Pizza Hut, Frank moved on from making pizza to becoming a venture capitalist, while Dan stayed behind to become part of the board. Fast forward to 1988, Frank revealed that he left Pizza Hut because of the way PepsiCo transformed the company from a small homegrown business to a giant empire that dwells on just marketing and that has no desire to return to the business. While it seemed hard to leave behind your business, Frank had gone on to try his hands at other businesses like oil and gas, real estate, automobile rentals, and recreational centers. In 1994, he was named vice chairman of Turbo Chef Incorporation, a company specializing in designing and developing high-speed cooking systems for the food service industry. Apparently, the love Frank has for his primary business remains undefeated, and he finds himself going back to his roots when he joined Papa John's pizza franchise. Wait a minute, this is not everything. Later in the video, we will show you how Frank helped grow Papa John's Pizza using Pizza Hut's business model. Although many pizza franchisees had tried to get Frank on board to help their business, he refused, until his friend Martin begged him to sample Papa John's pizza. And that was it. It only took Frank a taste of their pizza to agree to join the business. Apparently, the pizza tasted like the one he and his brother made for their Pizza Hut, hence his decision to help the business grow from scratch. Frank's interview gave a full insight into how he was willing to help Papa John's Pizza reach its full potential. According to Frank, it's kind of like a replay. The difference is like being a parent and a grandparent for the first time. Frank's time at Papa John's Pizza was an attempt to fix everything he and his brother did wrong with Pizza Hut, including the merger that cost them their identity. Frank was able to fulfill his desires, and at the end of 2001, Frank already had shares in over 130 Papa John's stores through the holding companies. Frank remained the president of the franchise, showing he really did build an empire for himself through the franchise, correcting the mistakes he and his brother made with Pizza Hut. While Dan stayed with PepsiCo, Frank, who wasn't pleased with PepsiCo, decided to leave and try out something new for himself. And that paid off well, as he was later inducted into the International Franchise Association Hall of Fame for hard work and dedication. After he retired, he spent his free time visiting his franchises worldwide, until he was diagnosed with Alzheimer's disease in 2009. He later died from pneumonia on December 2, 2020 at 82, while his brother Dan is still alive and doing his business. The Broke brothers truly lived a rags to riches story, from having nothing to starting a business with less than $1,000 and no knowledge of the business to growing the company into an empire. The story of the Broke brothers deserves all the recognition it's getting, and it's an eye-opener for all business owners that they shouldn't wait till they have it all to start their business.